Have you ever felt like you're fighting with everything you have to change your life, and yet something invisible keeps pulling you back into the same old patterns? And what if I told you that this force you've been blaming on fate, bad luck, or other people has never been outside of you? Because it's you, not the conscious you, not the rational you, but the vibrational you, the version of yourself hidden beneath your thoughts, your reactions, your memories, quietly shaping your entire reality through frequencies you never realized you were emitting. If that sentence hit something inside your chest, if you felt even a subtle tightening or a flicker of recognition, stay exactly where you are. Don't look away. Don't distract yourself. What you're about to hear is not just information, it's exposure. Because the truth is far stranger, far deeper, and far more personal than anything you've been told. You are living inside a reality built by your own subconscious energy, your own quantum consciousness, your own hidden frequencies that have been silently programming the direction of your life long before you learned how to speak. Most people in America grow up believing they are in full control of their choices, that hard work, logic, and discipline create success, that emotions can be ignored, that the past should stay in the past. But beneath the surface of ordinary life, the work schedules, the daily routines, the relationships, the noise, the responsibilities, there is a vibrational blueprint operating inside the subconscious mind, shaping how you see the world, how you react to it, and what the quantum field collapses around you. And you've felt this blueprint, even if you could never explain it. That strange heaviness right before you repeat a mistake. That familiar ache when you attract the same type of person. That unspoken fear right when something good begins. That whisper in the back of your mind saying, "I've been here before," because you have. Your subconscious is not just a psychological structure. It is an energetic field, transmitting frequencies into the quantum field every second, collapsing hidden possibilities into visible outcomes. What you call coincidence is resonance. What you call intuition is frequency. What you call destiny is programming. And the most unsettling part is that your energy has been deceiving you in the name of protection. It repeats what is familiar, not what is healthy. It pulls you toward what matches your past, not what aligns with your future. It shapes your decisions long before you consciously believe you've made them. It creates a hidden architecture around your reality that feels like fate, but is actually memory vibrating in the present moment. And this deception has been happening so quietly, so subtly, that you assumed life was just hard. You assumed you were unlucky. You assumed you lacked clarity or strength or consistency. But your struggles were never failures. They were signals. Signals from your subconscious, from the emotional imprints you absorbed years ago, from energy fields that formed when you were too young, too vulnerable, too unprotected to understand what was being installed inside you. Your reality is not random. It's responding. It's mirroring. It's echoing the vibration you carry, not the life you consciously desire. So if even a part of this already feels true, if something in your awareness is widening, if something in your perception is opening, don't leave. Not now. Because what you're about to discover next doesn't just explain your patterns, it exposes the mechanism behind them. And once you see how your own energy has been deceiving you, nothing in your life will ever look the same again. Stay with me. Something is about to break open. And before we go any deeper, I want to ask you for something simple, something conscious, something real. If at any moment during this video you feel something shift inside your chest, a small ache, a sudden memory, a quiet discomfort, or even a sense of recognition you can't explain, just write, "I felt it," in the comments. Not as a trend, not as a script, but as a way of marking the exact moment your awareness responded. These moments matter. They show you where the hidden layers of your mind are beginning to open. And there's a practical reason for it too. Early comments help this message reach more people who are going through the same silent struggles you've been carrying. It tells the algorithm that this conversation is alive, important, and worth sharing. If you feel connected to what you're hearing, take a second to like the video and subscribe. Not out of routine, but because it helps this community grow in a grounded, intentional way, so that more people can access the kind of clarity, calm, and expansion you're experiencing right now. We're building something here, a space where people can wake up to the truth of their own energy, where hidden patterns become visible, where transformation stops being an idea and becomes an experience. Your presence strengthens that field. And what comes next goes even deeper into the reality you've always sensed but never had words for. Stay close. The shift is only beginning. The truth is, every person who begins to wake up reaches a moment like this. A moment where something they've always felt but never named starts rising to the surface. And to understand just how deeply your own energy has been shaping your reality, you need to see it through a story that could belong to anyone, but feels like it was taken directly from your own life. Imagine someone who spent years trying to make the right choices. Someone who worked hard, stayed hopeful, pushed through the disappointments, kept going, because that's what life in America teaches you. Don't quit, don't break, keep moving. But underneath that effort, beneath the routines, the schedules, the commitments, their subconscious energy was replaying a vibrational memory they didn't even know existed. They didn't see the pattern at first. They only felt the heaviness that came before every setback, the strange tightening in their stomach before trusting someone new, the quiet expectation that things would eventually go wrong because somehow they always did. Picture this person sitting alone in their car late at night, the kind of night when the streets are empty and the air feels colder than usual. They grip the steering wheel, trying to understand how they ended up in the same pain again. A different situation, a different face, a different year, but the same emotion. They replay the moment in their mind, the conversation that turned into conflict, the opportunity that slipped away at the last second, the hope that dissolved without warning. And beneath all those events, there is a faint, almost imperceptible whisper inside their body. A sensation they've felt 100 times before but never questioned. That whisper comes from the emotional field built during a moment of vulnerability they can barely remember. A moment when their subconscious absorbed a frequency of fear or abandonment or unworthiness and stored it as truth. They didn't know that their subconscious programming was choosing for them long before they consciously decided anything. They didn't know that the trauma frequency imprinted in their nervous system was shaping their perception, making safety feel suspicious and chaos feel familiar. They didn't know that the vibrational memory echoing through their emotional field was bending reality, collapsing possibilities and drawing people and situations that matched the unresolved energy they carried. And when they finally began to notice the repetition, when every disappointment felt like a mirror reflecting the same wound, something inside them cracked open. Not a breakdown, but a breakthrough, a moment of recognition. This isn't happening to me. This is coming from me. That single realization is the beginning of awakening. It's the moment you understand that the hidden architecture of your life wasn't built by chance. It was formed by energy that was never healed, by memories stored in silence, by emotions that your mind forgot, but your frequency never released. And once you see this with clarity, once you realize you weren't cursed, just conditioned, something shifts. Your breathing changes. Your perception widens. You feel for the first time the presence of a deeper self, trying to rise through the layers of who you thought you were. If any part of this story feels like it was written about you, if you recognized even a fragment of your own path in these words, just write, "It happened to me," in the comments. That single sentence helps you acknowledge your own awareness, and it strengthens the shared field of everyone waking up with you. You see, once that first recognition breaks through the surface, the next wave hits you even harder, not because it hurts, but because it reveals how much of your life was built on a perception that was never yours. This is where the illusion begins to crumble, and it doesn't fall apart quietly. It collapses like a truth you were never prepared to face, a truth that challenges the story you've been telling yourself for years. Because the moment you understand that your subconscious wasn't just influencing your life, but actively shaping it, something uncomfortable begins to rise inside you. You start to realize how many choices you thought were deliberate were actually reactions to an old vibration still living inside your nervous system. You see how the mind rationalized what the energy had already decided, and for the first time, you feel a kind of anger. Not destructive anger, but awakening anger. The anger of seeing the invisible pattern that has been controlling your life without your permission. This is where cognitive tension takes over. Your logical mind wants to believe you were fully in control, that every failure was simply a mistake, that every pattern was just coincidence. But your perception is expanding now, and with that expansion comes a deeper awareness. Energy deceives. Not to hurt you, but to keep you inside what it knows, inside what feels familiar, even if that familiarity is painful. Your subconscious mind learned long ago that repeating an old wound felt safer than stepping into an unknown future, and so it repeated it, again and again. The same emotion, the same dynamic, the same outcome, different actors, different years, same frequency. The quantum field reacts to whatever emotion is strongest within you, not whatever desire you consciously hold. If fear is your dominant frequency, the field mirrors confusion. If unworthiness is your baseline, the field echoes rejection. If abandonment still vibrates in your emotional field, reality collapses around distance, loss, or instability. Not because the universe is cruel, but because it responds to the signal you broadcast beneath your awareness. And this is the part that usually shakes people the most. The past doesn't stay in the past. It keeps emitting a signal until you become conscious enough to shut it down. Every unresolved emotion is still alive in your energy field. Every unprocessed memory is still shaping your perception. Every wound you ignored is still choosing the life you walk into each day. But here is the turning point, the part that shifts your entire identity. You are not guilty for the patterns you inherited. You didn't choose the first vibration. You didn't understand the first wound. But now that you see the mechanism, now that you recognize the illusion, you are responsible for what comes next. Responsibility is not blame, it is power. And when that power begins to settle into your awareness, you feel something new. The sense that the invisible enemy wasn't fate, wasn't other people, wasn't the universe. It was a vibrational distortion your subconscious kept alive long after it should have dissolved. If this is opening your mind, if you can feel something shifting, take a moment to hit the like button. Not as routine, but as a conscious signal to the algorithm that this kind of awakening matters, that people are ready for deeper truth. And if you're ready to continue this transformation, stay here, because the next part reveals the hidden mechanism that has been shaping your destiny without you ever noticing. There comes a moment in every awakening when you stop blaming the pattern and start questioning the force behind it. And this is where something deeper begins to reveal itself. Something you've always felt, but never fully understood. Because the truth is that the illusion didn't come from outside. It came from within you. You weren't being punished by the universe. You weren't trapped by fate. You were being guided by a vibration your subconscious created long before you had the awareness to question it. And once you understand how that vibration was formed, the entire architecture of your life begins to make sense in a way that is both unsettling and liberating. The deceptive frequency didn't appear out of nowhere. It was born in a moment when your emotional system was overwhelmed, a moment when your mind couldn't process what was happening, so your subconscious absorbed the experience as pure energy, raw, unfiltered, unexamined. That energy crystallized into a frequency, and once it became frequency, it became instruction. It told your quantum field what to collapse, how to collapse it, and what kind of reality to mirror back to you. This is the hidden mechanism most people never see. Your subconscious vibration is shaping your perception before your conscious mind even enters the conversation. You think you are responding to the world, but the world has already responded to the signal you're sending. This is why your life has repeated certain emotions no matter how much effort you put into changing your behavior. You were trying to change actions while the vibrational code remained the same. And the quantum field reacts to the code, not the effort. The reality you've been living is not the product of your intentions. It's the product of your vibration. Your emotional memories, even the ones you don't consciously recall, continue emitting a frequency that shapes how you interpret situations, how you connect with people, and which possibilities become available to you. Hidden energy becomes destiny when it remains unquestioned. But the moment you observe this mechanism without fear, something extraordinary happens. Awareness disrupts the signal. When you shine consciousness on a vibrational imprint, the frequency loses its authority. The observer effect doesn't just apply to particles, and it applies to you. By witnessing the pattern, you stop being controlled by it. And as you feel this understanding settle into your body, even subtly, you might notice a shift. Your breathing deepens, your perception widens, The atmosphere around you feels slightly different. That's energy correction beginning to take place. That's vibrational alignment forming in real time. You're not just learning this, you're changing as you listen. If you feel that shift, even faintly, take a moment to acknowledge it. Comment something simple like, "I am awakening," to anchor the expansion in your consciousness. And if this message is helping you understand the hidden layers of your reality, like the video and subscribe to stay connected with this community. What comes next goes even deeper. The moment when this mechanism stops being something you understand and becomes something you can finally transcend. You may not realize it yet, but everything you've felt so far has been guiding you to this point, to the threshold where your old perception loosens its grip and something new begins to rise. This is the moment when the subconscious stops feeling like a mysterious force in the background and starts revealing itself as a living, breathing part of your identity. You can almost sense it now, like an inner shift that has been waiting for your awareness to catch up. And as you listen, you might notice the strange calm that comes when a deeper truth enters your energy field. It's not dramatic, not loud, but unmistakably present. This is the beginning of real expansion of consciousness, the quiet unfolding that happens when your mind finally stops resisting what your energy has known all along. Because once you see that your vibration has been misleading you, you can't return to the old explanations. The idea that life was random no longer makes sense. The belief that everything was happening to you becomes too small for what you now perceive. And even though part of you might feel unsettled by this new clarity, another part, older, wiser, more connected to your quantum consciousness, feels a strange relief. It's the relief of finally recognizing the invisible architecture behind your choices, your emotions, your relationships, your reality. Awareness dissolves confusion, perception dissolves fear, and little by little, you begin to feel the space that opens when the illusion breaks. You're not alone in this. Every person who wakes up to the truth of their own energy goes through the same trembling, the same disorientation, the same expansion. It's the moment when the subconscious mind stops being a shadow and becomes a doorway into a hidden reality that has been responding to you from the beginning. The quantum field has never been silent. It has been in dialogue with your vibration since your first memory. And once you become aware of that dialogue, life begins to rearrange itself around your new frequency. Synchronicities intensify, old patterns loosen. Possibilities you never considered start appearing with almost eerie precision. This is not imagination. It is the natural response of reality to an updated field of consciousness. And as this realization settles deeper, something else begins to rise. A sense of mission. Not a mission imposed by pressure or obligation, but one that emerges naturally from expanded perception. When you understand how profoundly your vibration shapes your world, you begin to feel responsible not from guilt, but from clarity. You begin to see that changing your frequency is not just a personal transformation. It's a shift that affects everything and everyone around you. The energy you align with becomes the energy you emit. And the energy you emit becomes the reality you collapse into existence. You are standing at the doorway of something larger than you expected. The hidden mechanism is no longer hidden. The deceptive frequency is no longer invisible. Your perception has risen above the pattern that once controlled you. And now, a new question begins to echo quietly inside your awareness. If your consciousness can see this clearly now, what else is reality waiting to reveal? Before we open that next chapter, take a moment to anchor where you are. If something awakened inside you during this video, write a phrase that reflects your expansion. I awaken. I see beyond. I am expanding. Your words become part of the field we are building together, a field that strengthens every time someone steps into their own awareness. Like the video if it resonated with you, and subscribe if you want to walk deeper into this awakening with a community that understands the terrain you're entering. The next step goes beyond understanding the mechanism. It reveals how reality responds when consciousness finally wakes up.